Kaizer Chiefs came through 3-1 winners in that Nedbank Cup quarterfinal against Stellies. And the scoreline may be a bit bloated in the end, but the winning goal that came off of the corner, Chuck, just controversial. Is it offside? Is it a foul on the keeper? Ref goes to assistant, and just a whole lot happens, and then he blows for the goal, right? And so I have to ask you, Kaizer Chiefs through to the semifinals in the Nedbank Cup. Did they benefit?
It looks like it, because I mean, let's go off the coach's words. Upaka, right? In one game against Kaizer Chiefs, they were awarded a penalty, and then it was overturned. Wadliwa against Paris in the MTN8 final. Paris take a free kick 5 meters ahead. That's allowed. And then this one, the linesman suggests there's something wrong and there's an infringement in the box, but it gets overruled by the referee, who himself did not see anything to begin with. So based on that vantage point, and because us as the viewers, we were not any better off. We just kept seeing replays of the foul, but we didn't see why it was not a foul in the end. So it does look like they've benefited. But I will say this, not the first time we've used VAR in the league, because we've seen, especially from last season as well, where referee consults the fourth official or the linesman, and somehow they get to a decision, and you're like, based on what? Nibonin, what did you see a second time round for you to clearly know what's going on? And decisions happen. So there's a precedence, but either way, Jay, that one was dubious for me. I saw Modi's elbow into the side of Sage Stevens, and so, yeah, it was a bit soft, but keepers are protected. We know that much. If it was just me and any other player, it's usually play on. But in the box, we know that keepers are the precious child of football. You can't touch them, you can't shove them, you can't jump into, you can't head their hands, you can't do anything basically. And so because there was contact, Chiefs definitely benefited. Because if the referee is not sure and the linesman is sure about a decision, why swing it the other way around? So, but before I give it back to Jay, I want to set this up because Tina, when we won the MTN8, what it is ngamasela? Don't get with the same intro when you answer.
Please don't tell me what to say. Like, I am my own man with my
same.
own mind. I'm not listening to you through an earpiece and then taking your consultation and then giving my opinion.
Be the same.
So,
fair.
in terms of how the game went, no, I do think Kaizer Chiefs were the better team. Particularly in that first half, I thought they did a great job to stop Stellies from playing. There was a time during that game I was actually looking for Devin Titus, because Devin Titus is Stellies' leading goal scorer, and he's become the talisman this season, you know. And I thought for a moment that, hey man, this man is not on the pitch, is he not playing? And he was playing. He was just neutralized by the Kaizer Chiefs defensive scheme, and also being concerned that will a midfield pairing of Ucele as well as Umshini, will it work? And it worked, particularly with Umshini, right? And I saw him working in the middle of the park. We know what he's particularly good at, which is those through passes, which is connecting the play, and he did that as well. But it was his industry that I was most impressed by, and it looks like he does feature in the plans of the coach. And it's yet another game where what I'm most impressed with, where Nabi is concerned, that he's giving everyone a chance. I mean, Omodi, who eventually scored that goal, he's been now in the team for a good run of games. And even though we've spoken about the fact that Omodi is missing chances, he keeps getting into positions where he has the chances, you know, and just generally Chiefs are better with him in the team at the moment. So in terms of how the two teams played, I did think Kaizer Chiefs were the better side. Also, in terms of that goal, right, that controversial goal, I don't think there was a foul on the keeper, and also I don't think there was an offside, because Sage Stevens punched that ball, and then it ended up with Umoid. But in terms of if it was blown as a foul, I don't think it was a foul. So originally, I think that goal should have stood, but because the assistant ref put up his flag for something, right? And we're not certain like what exactly it is, because the ref could have seen that there was nothing wrong, but then he sees the flag of the assistant ref. Then he goes to the assistant ref to actually find out what is it that you think you saw, because if it's offside, then the ref, of course, probably would not overturn that, you know. So the assumption is that the assistant ref saw an infringement on the goalkeeper. And the thing is, the referee does have the final say in terms of what a decision is, and he's got he's got that prerogative, right? So if he goes to the assistant ref and the assistant ref says that infringement on the keeper, and if the ref says I saw nothing and he blows for the goal, I have no issue with that. I have no issue with him consulting his assistant ref and overturning it. My issue though is that after speaking to the assistant ref, he then is speaking in his mouthpiece, in his earpiece. Who are you talking to? Because then the camera pans to the fourth official, right? And seemingly it's a conversation that's happening with the fourth official, like VAR. We have VAR light happening right in front of us. The minister said, Chuck, that VAR is coming in April. Last time I checked, we are still in March. We're not even in the middle of March as yet. And yet, that conversation that happens on the sidelines where, as I'm saying, the ref is speaking seemingly to the fourth official. And you are right, Chuck, because I've noted this and tweeted about it as well, that we've seen decisions taken like this in the PSL where you can see that the ref is talking to somebody in his ear, and then he's overturning a decision. Like, that is not instinct that suddenly took over, that, you know what, I'm replaying this in my head and actually this is how it went and I need to overturn the decision. So the fact that this is happening, this happened where, as I'm saying, there's a consultation seemingly off of a replay. That's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. And on that basis, Kaizer Chiefs absolutely benefited.
No, Jay, they did. And they were fun with Mama Sale. I mean, I was waiting for that in your speech, but it's fine. I think, Jay, on the balance of play, they played well. Serena was decent. Should have taken, I think, more shots at goal. I think, as you said, Mshini was good as well. Generally speaking, and people like Msimang were very sound. You know, people who haven't been in the team for a long time come in and they display quite good football. But on the point of contention, Jay, I think when we take examples from other sports, right? At least go rugby, there were no mitigating circumstances. They didn't try to go lower, hence the yellow card. Then they're not giving you a choice in the conversation, but they're telling you why it happened. So when he's consulting the linesman, he's consulting the fourth official, the referee doesn't then say captains only, here's what happens, decision. He just says goal. And you don't know based off what. And so everyone is raging. Then if you have after the pitch where I saw Stelli's player, he threw his jacket on the referee's face, and I was like, dude, it's not worth it. The game is done, you know? But I think, Jay, it could have been handled much, much better because, yes, we don't have the technology. Everyone knows we don't have the technology. So tell us what it's based on. That's why they wanted to introduce in certain stadia that screen to then say decision offside. And on some screens, they give you the replay or they show you why it's offside or how the infringement happens. And then as a crowd and as the viewers as well, you're like, oh, I see why. Whether you think right or wrong, but I see what they were looking at. With this one, as you say, you're naming offside, you're naming a foul. You don't know what they were looking at. You don't know what they were blowing for initially. So no one knows what happened in terms of what the linesman saw. No one knows in terms of what happens in terms of what the referee got clarity on for him to award the goal. So we're all in the dark. All we know is that Stelli's lost. And that's not good enough. I think we need a bit more clarity for him to say, guys, I saw from my vantage point, because granted, here's the truth. I don't think the ref is in the best position because of the congestion of bodies. I don't think the linesman is in the best position either. So I don't know which can one clearly say, I saw this better than you, unless they're really on an offside, because then the linesman is primed to see that because that's why he's in that particular place on the pitch. But then for them to have a conversation and then the guy's like, I think I saw it better than you. I'm like, Pule was basically, Pule was in the 6-yard box. How did you see that? And George McClough as well. How do you see through all those points that it was not a foul? If the call is a foul. If it's an offside being overturned, how did you see that, Mr. Referee, as the guy who makes the decision? So, controversy. And I mean, yeah, on the balance of play, Chiefs are the better side, but that's not how football goes all the time. And even if you are the lesser side in this particular tie, you can be aggrieved.